"Oh, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?" This little guy is Romeo. He is an 11-week-old Goldendoodle. If you couldn't tell, he's got a very typical coat for a Goldendoodle. Here, we're gonna really be evaluating him as a sensitive puppy. You can see here, he looks and appears very happy, right? His tail is moving a million miles a minute. But if you watch his body language and everything, look how he's kind of making himself smaller. You can see him crouching on down to me, walking over, right? We don't want to see that. Again, that's going to create submissive urination. And even as he eats the food, he's sinking down into the ground as he's eating that food out of my hand. What I'm trying to do, because I can see his tail moving a million miles a minute and he's got a little bit more energy, I'm moving my hand a little bit faster because I know he would like to move faster, but I know he's not super confident by the way he is hesitating when the food falls on the ground and he gets up to walk forward. There's that minutia, that half a second forward where he goes, "Should I go? Oh, okay, I will." So it's my job to help decrease that hesitation. So if I continue to see that half a second hesitation, I'm going to make it easier by bringing the food closer, but I'm going to make the steps not as big for him so that way he knows that he can, versus saying, "Should I or shouldn't I?" He goes, "Oh, I can." I want that to be his first inclination. He's not going to want to do the same old over and over and over again. He's going to get sick and tired of it. So here I go, "Can you sit? Can you lay down?" He goes, "Yes, I totally can." And like most Goldens, they lay down really well because when they get a little overwhelmed, they just pancake and hit the deck. I'm working here on him understanding that when he does lay down, I want him to eat the food off the ground, which he doesn't know how to do. He keeps looking at it from my hand. So if you notice my hand is sideways, I'm trying to dispense the food from the bottom so it's coming from my hand but hitting the ground as I'm releasing it. So he learns to look to the ground for food instead of my hand. So that way I'm going to eventually get a stronger down because he's going to be glued to the ground because that's where the food comes. There I drop a bunch of food. I try to keep him engaged without putting him on hold where he goes, "Okay, I'm going to disconnect," while I pick up the other pieces of kibble. Now, again, I'm changing directions. I'm going, "Hey, I'm going to take this piece of food, watch it. I'm going to throw it just a little bit. Can you go get it? Yay, now come back here. Good boy." I'm trying to give him active things to do, but not making them too hard for him where he is excited. As he's moving away from me, he gets excited. You can see his body language perk up a little bit more than the beginning of the video. I can see that already. You can see as he's coming over, his body is not fully up, right? He's not super confident yet, but he is carrying his head higher and his body is not quite as low to the ground. He didn't shrink quite as much. So those are things that I'm looking at in the training session going, I'm evaluating him with my training saying, am I making this too hard for him? And I would know that by his body language of him going, you are making it too hard because there's a lot of hesitation, and his body would stay shrunk. But my training is helping him build his confidence because his body is getting a little taller and a little taller. Even there, he, like you can see, he's not fully up, but he's not shrunk to the ground. So I stand up here again, just to do something a little bit different. And I'm kind of doing what I did on the ground when I was sitting there at the very beginning of the video, but now I'm just standing and I'm inviting him to my space. I'm walking backwards. I'm not walking towards him. I'm trying to really walk away from him. And here you can see we kind of run into a little bit of a snafu where he's like, I don't know about that corner. Now, I don't know in this moment what exactly he likes or doesn't like, but that doesn't matter to me. I just know I have to help him make it easier. So what do? I slow down. I come back down to the ground. I kneel. I go back to tossing a treat, something that he knows that he's built confidence in, and then luring him around and going, yay, you did that. Now he did a good job. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to pull that pressure off because as we all know, if we just work on something hard, and beat that dead horse. We all eventually hate it, and it's not any fun. So I go back to, okay, great, we're gonna move away from that corner. We don't really like that. And here I do a better job luring because he doesn't like it when I move towards him, and you can see that as he backs up. I'm trying to take a step backwards, but even that for him, you can see he is going, too much, and he's moving away from my body pressure. I have to move a little bit slower and try not to really bother that little bubble. I take a step back into the space that he finds a little bit scary, but I'm trying not to get close to it, but there's only so much space you can go. So I'm trying to turn around and go to a different side because I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible for him. And then as I go to the other side, I find out he's also a little bit unsure of the couch. He doesn't quite know what to make of it, so what do? I provide more distance from that couch. I kneel down. I already know the memo, right? He's already showed me a minute earlier in this video that when he's unsure of things, he needs me to kneel down to make it easier for him, because when I kneel down, I'm not as intimidating, and he possibly finds a little bit of comfort in people when they're close to him. Think of him like when he was a little 8-week-old puppy, or 4-week-old puppy, 5-week-old puppy, still at the breeder. They are probably sitting in the whelping box with the puppies, right? So that's a very familiar image for him that he probably finds a little bit of comfort in. I don't lure him this time. I try something a little bit different just to go, does this work better for you? Every puppy learns a little bit differently what they grasp onto, what they don't grasp onto. And so I just take a little bit of food and I throw it on the thing, and he gets to choose how close he wants to go or doesn't want to go. But you can quite clearly see that he is a little unsure by how far his back legs are out behind him, and how he stretches his little body to get some of the kibble sometimes, so he can feel more comfortable where he can get out quickly if he needs to. He's a little sensitive to touch. I am petting him, food, pet, food, pet, food. And that way he starts learning, oh, every time her hand comes over my head, over my body, it's not so bad. And now here at the end, I just finish it. Yay, good boy, we're all done.